What's up, Juicy Queens? I'm Dr. Jenny. I am joined by just the best human ever today, my girl, Lexi. She is a vocal liberator, a guide to energetic and somatic work, and just like a fucking queen. And I'm really excited to have a conversation with her today. We are going to be talking about all the things. I mean,
Just start.
yeah, we'll probably go on quite a few tangents. Please excuse us, but you'll be able to follow along with the theme in mind of how important it is for us as women to use our voices, to liberate our voices, to speak our fucking truth, and how using your voice can really help you lead a juicier life because that's what we're here for. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Alexi, we were just chatting about all of the reasons why you maybe shouldn't liberate your voice, which I actually think is kind of funny. So,
hmm
do you mind sharing with us, like, what are some of the things that happen when we don't liberate our voice? And we'll go from there. Like, what
Mm,
happens in your life?
Jenny is. We were just talking about this, how she likes to open with the really bold questions.
Listen, you
Okay.
told me you hate introductions and like small talk, so let's just fucking get
No,
in there.
I don't like the who are you? What do you do? Who do you help? But I guess it's good to give people context. Although everyone, Jenny and I have worked together before, and we're like close friends, all the things. We already have like a really good rapport. So if you're wondering why the energy is so friendly and fun and real, it's because we know each other already.
We're gonna get real raw up in here.
Precisely. Um, okay, the question was,
What happens when we don't liberate our voice? We don't use our voice. Like you just told me right before we started recording, like how it
mm,
shows up in your life.
right. Okay, so typically what tends to happen when our voices stay suppressed um, is generally a lot of numbness in our lives. So you may find yourself feeling really kind of dissociating from a lot of the things that are happening in your life, and not even just externally, but also and especially internally. You're very, very much turned off from your own sense of aliveness. And I want to get more specific when I say that because that's like kind of a buzzword right now. And maybe for a lot of people who are feeling very numb and disassociated from their own body, both physically and energetically and internally, that word might be like, okay, yeah, like fucking aliveness, great. um, what I mean specifically is like understanding and being able to pinpoint specific feelings, sensations in the body. So it's being able to actually hear and decipher the communication and the cues that your body is sending you. And so typically when we don't have liberated voices, we're kind of turned off from all of that. Um, I know you talk about this a lot because I have listened to some of your episodes, is especially as a doctor, you know this, energetic dis-ease in the body often turns into physical dis-ease in the body. And that's also another way that you know that your body is speaking to you. These are like little red flags or little flags that your body's waving, like, hey, there is some wisdom here for you. There is something here that wants to move. There's a little voice inside of your body that's trying to get you to tune in and actually create the space to listen to what it has to offer. So I
Mm.
guess liberating the voice is both an um, external liberating of the voice, but it's also an internal liberating of the voice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes total sense. And something I talk to clients a lot about, and we talked about in other episodes too, is like the only way that your body can speak to you really from a physical perspective is through signs, symptoms, discomfort, or sensations that are, pleasurable, of course, too. But what I'm hearing from you is like liberating your voice, yes, it means like speaking your truth out loud to other people, like using your voice to share your mission, your vision, like whatever that might be confidently. And we'll get into that, obviously. But
Mhm.
also being able to distinguish the voice within your own body. Is that considered like, do you consider that intuition, like that voice that's speaking to you, or is that something separate for you?
Sure. Intuition, um, gut instinct. It's very much like a primal instinct. Your body's like, yo, there's some stuff here.
I'm trying to show you
Can
something.
you kindly create some space to hear what I have to offer you right now?
Yeah.
But in order to be able to speak the truth, you have to you have to believe that it matters. You have to believe that your voice actually matters enough for you to want to hear it and then to be able to actually speak it out into the world.
Mm. Well, and I think I just talked about this in a very recent episode about how, like, women especially, but if we go years and years and years suppressing our own intuition, not listening to our body, not listening to those signs and symptoms and things that it's trying to tell us, constantly overriding our own voice by listening to other people, that lends itself to physical disease. A lot of the times, autoimmune disease is a big way that that shows up, like the body attacking itself. Babe, that doesn't just happen for no reason. That happens because of like long-standing patterns of
Mm-hmm.
disconnect between you and your body. So I think that in many ways, connecting to your inner voice and also connecting to that voice that you project out into the world is a really powerful healing tool. And of course, I'm sure that you believe that because that's the work that you do with other people as well. Um, but
Yeah.
but when you say like you need to know that your voice matters,
Mm-hmm.
do you mind elaborating on that at all? Like, is there anything else that comes up for you around that?
I think the what we want, what we're wanting is to be able to like have a free voice and speak our needs and our desires and be able to speak the truth out into the world and to people and in our relationships. But that can't happen unless you are recognizing that voice and honoring what's coming through for yourself first.
Hmm.
It has to be you first. You have to listen to what's coming through and be willing to honor and obey what comes through. I especially like the word obey because it's really like you got to be really deliberate when you're starting this work on listening to the cues and things of your body. You have to be really deliberate about obeying what she has to offer you. If honor feels better, you can keep that. It's a bit lighter and a little more fluffy.
I like
Um,
Obey. She gets to like dom you a little bit.
yeah, it's from love. She's like, your body knows what's best for you. She knows. She understands what you need. She understands your wants. She understands. And if you just give her the space to let that come through and listen to what she's offering to you, you're going to be a lot better off than how you're existing um, in the world right now.
Yeah. And I mean,
Um, I'll go for it.
I was just gonna say I have to imagine like all of these people out there that are feeling like at war with their bodies, they're feeling really like their body is other than them, like they're frustrated with the physical like discomfort or pain that they experience, which yes, that's so valid. It's easy to get stuck into this trap of like, oh, it's me versus my body, not like me and her are on the same team and she's just trying to teach me something or show me something. Especially when you deal with any sort of chronic pain or illness or things like that. But I think at the end of the day, what you're saying is really important. It's like it is about being able to listen to that inner voice and obey her, honor her needs, so that we don't get into that place where we feel at odds with our body. But if you are in that place, like there's so many ways that you can rewrite that story, and we'll definitely be, I'm sure, diving into more of that throughout the rest of this episode.
Yeah, I mean, you have to stop looking at your body like it's a project. It's not a project. It's not something that you are trying to perfect so that you can continue to perform with it in the way that you think it needs to be performing. Your body isn't something that you need to be fixing. It's something that you need to be listening to. And I
And
know we
living
keep,
in.
yes, like fully living in, not just kind of like autopilot existing in on a daily basis. And so, what would happen if you were to give your body what it needs without the attachment of fixing it or making it quote unquote better, you know?
Yeah. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to like get to that place where we're healed and there's nothing wrong and we're totally fixed. But like life is fucking messy. Being a human is weird and messy. Like
It's weird.
it's so weird. Like at least what I'm hearing from you is like being able to get to this place where you just listen and honor your body because like she's your home and like you just get to live and exist within her, not because she needs to show up in the world as a certain type of way or like fully fixed or healed. Like that's not the fucking vibe, right? It's like it's something
Right.
I talk about a lot on other episodes. It's like your life is meant to like be enjoyed and lived and experienced. And how else can we do that if we don't first tune in and listen to ourselves?
Absolutely. And I know what that's like to have treated my body like a project for a really long time. And I come from a background of knowing my physical body really, really well. Coming from being a competitive gymnast, dancer, CrossFitter, yogi, my physical body has been in tip-top shape for the majority of my life. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago, that I realized that just because I'm in like tip-top physical shape doesn't mean that I have any connection to my body internally whatsoever. And I think maybe there are people out there who can probably relate to this. It's like just because you're in good physical shape, it doesn't mean that you have a nourishing and deeply loving relationship with your body.
Well, yeah, and I'd imagine a lot of those people get to peak physical condition by disobeying or, um, what's the right word? Like superseding their body's own needs and what she's asking for because to get to a place where your physical form is like tip top and you're performance ready all of the time, a lot of the
Right.
times we ignore the needs for things like rest or emotional release or sleep or whatever that might be.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's like if and I'll speak from my own experience, everything was coming from this need to be the best at everything.
Girl, I get that.
I'm like, I have to be the best at this. And there was the only connection I had to my body was constant training. It was like training to be the best at this thing so I can compete at the highest level so that I don't even know what, say that I can. I mean, cool, I guess. But like, why do I feel so why was there for me there was like this nagging sense of something is so off here. And the thing is, like, when it comes to the physical realm, that really is just kind of the top layer. I think a lot of people have trouble because when it comes to their body or wanting to get more in tune with it, we immediately kind of go to changing behavior. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to wake up earlier and I'm going to eat better. And then I'm going to exercise this many times a day. And then I'm going to meditate and I'm going to do my box breathing. And then I'm going to, and it's like, those things are great, but it's still, you're still just changing the behavior instead of going down a couple of layers into the energetics of why you're doing this in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate that feeling of just feeling like something was off. Is like all of this for me has started when I was experiencing a lot of, changes and honestly feeling terrible after coming off of birth control and like having all sorts of hormonal issues. And then, fast forward through that whole journey, like I realize now it was so much less about the actual physical changes and the things going on with my hormones and so much more about suppressed trauma and my disconnection from my body and like all of these deeper layers. But I will say that I probably wouldn't have gotten there if I didn't have the physical sensation that made me feel like shit in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of like the tip of the iceberg. And then you go down into, into the depths of like those deeper layers, the energetics, the things that you haven't felt, the things that need to be felt. And, for me, that was navigating all the hormonal stuff. And that's something that I will say frustrates me when women are coming in trying to fix their hormones, balance their hormones, quote unquote. But I'm like, girlfriend, you just really got some like deeper shit you need to do. Like, but they
Right.
don't,
That's
they
like
don't want
behavior
to.
change. Yeah, and I get it.
Yeah, that just sucks. Like they're like, wait, just tell me what to eat and tell me what supplements to take and like tell me what my labs look like. And I'm like, that's all fine and dandy, but if you have all
Hmm.
of this other shit lying just underneath the surface, that's like putting fucking sprinkles on a dog turd if you don't like work on that deeper layer. So for me, it was like all the hormonal garbage that I had to wade through to figure out that, like, oh, there is much deeper, deeper things waiting for me. There are these feelings of unworthiness and not being enough and like being a high achieving woman my whole life and like burning myself out. For you, it sounds like you just had this like nagging sense of like something feels off, question
Right.
mark.
Yeah.
And then what did you
Like
do?
I'm doing all the right things.
Air quotes.
So, yeah, like, so what the fuck? What's going on? Like, the thoughts was like, I should not feel this much intensity all the time. Sorry.
Liberate that voice, girl.
Forgive me, people. I have allergies and sometimes there is phlegm. Okay. Um, yeah, my thought was like, I shouldn't feel this much intensity all the time. And I think people can relate to this because it isn't that I was okay, let me see if I can lay this out. It isn't that I was experiencing a ton of emotional intensity. It's that there was so much on the surface that was not being felt. Like it was me kind of intellectualizing and thinking, and I'm like, well, I'm doing all the right stuff and I'm meditating and I'm doing yoga and I'm da 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 da. And so that intensity was just sitting on the surface, but what I really needed was to learn how to be with that intensity at depth. I needed to learn how to actually sit and move and sound and express through the sensation, through the intensity that I was experiencing in my body, the way that my body was asking for. And so this is the issue, I think, and this is where a lot of my work comes in, because I understand rigidity. As a gymnast, as a dancer, as an opera singer, as a theater performer, I understand rigidity. I understand um, choreography. I understand hitting all the right notes, and not even just in song or singing, but like in life, checking all the boxes. And that isn't what my body was asking for. It was asking for me to surrender control as much as I could and to allow it to move through that intensity, to move through that emotion in the way that my body wanted, not the way that I thought it should be.
So, for lack of any less logical questions, I'm curious how you figured that out. Like, how did you, um, like, when you were sitting with that, like, is that something that you had worked with a guide with to help you get there? Or did you just like literally you figured that out on your own? You're like, oh shit, I need to change some things and I need to like surrender.
It was a long, gradual process. Um, I remember in 2020, there was a point, there was like 4 or 5 years where I was hardcore yogi. And I mean in the asana practice. And I did go through my yoga teacher training, all of the things. So when I went through my yoga teacher training, I understood that yoga was not about the physical practice itself. It's about, living yoga like your entire life. Um, but I still took the asana part of it very, um, very seriously in the sense that it was something that's allowed me to get into my body. But after a few years, something happened where I was like, why don't I want to get on my mat anymore? Like, I just don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to perfect my handstand anymore. I don't want a deeper split. I don't want a better back bend. And I actually stopped moving for a while. And something happened, I think maybe around 2021, where I wanted to get on my mat again. And I was like, okay, I'm not here to do yoga. I am just here like to move in any way that my body wants to move here. And that's how this kind of practice developed. And that was really challenging for me, especially in the sound work as well. I do have I got a sound healing certification that reintroduced me to my voice, but I also brought rigidity into that. And there was so much unraveling for me that rigidity and choreography and needing things to be performed at a certain level. And I started developing a relationship with my body that was like, what is I think it was just like, how does my body want to speak through me? How does my voice want to express through me? And I had to really, oh my God, it was so fucking hard in the beginning because I was like, this sounds like shit and this looks like shit and and then over time, I started to really feel this sense of freedom of like, oh, this is so great to just allow my body to move in the way that it wants to here, regardless of how ugly it looks, how weird it looks, how chaotic it looks. And it was the same thing with the voice as well, but that was even more challenging for me. Like really unraveling that need to sound pretty, good, beautiful, string together melodies. And I really had to let myself go to the, and I say this with like my full fucking chest and gut. I took myself to the ugliest possible places I could go.
Meaning,
Meaning I wasn't afraid. Well, that isn't true. I was totally afraid. um, I gave myself the permission to let whatever sensation or emotion was present to fully possess my entire being so that it can move in the way that it wanted to.
Probably looked and sounded kind of weird.
Kinda.
No, I think that's beautiful. And like also coming from more of a rigid background, dance and vocals, like not to the same degree, maybe, but I can understand the like that internal like need and drive for rigidity and choreography and things to be perfect and just to do it one more time to get it perfect. And there's so much conditioning around that. But I think there's also like something that's just been like coming through while you're speaking is I think women, we are so afraid to be quote bad at something. We're so afraid to look or sound weird or not to look or sound perfect. And it's so funny to me to like even try and imagine you as a yoga teacher because I've only known you in this space where you're like you just like move your body like a fucking that crazy guy at the car rental place, like the wiggly guy who's made of air. Like that's how I imagine you moving.
The flailing arm man.
Yes, that guy. Like you are like I've always seen you in more of that like liberated sense of how you move and how you flow and speak, and I think that's so beautiful. But of course, I haven't known those like deeper parts of your journey and like getting there. But getting there, I have to imagine. I feel like I'm on my way. But it's like there's so much freedom in that and just being able to
Hmm.
show up and be like, what the fuck does my body want to do today? What does my voice want to do today? Rather than this is the exact notes that I have to sing and I have to move in this pose and hold it for this long. And honestly, I think that's just like good girl conditioning, just a different flavor of it. It's like I only move when it's perfect or I only sing when I know how to sing the notes. Like you're
Right.
just trying to be a perfect little good girl. Like, can you just not?
Yeah, just to get fucking wild with it. And when I say wild, I don't mean it has to be chaotic and crazy for crazy's sake. I mean, get wild and meet yourself where you are. Just meet yourself where you are. Don't look at someone like me and be like, oh, well, Lexi's so free and shit. Yes, I've been doing this for years now. Please do not compare yourself to where I am. Please do not compare where your voice is to where I am because years ago, I mean, there was like 15 years of my life where I didn't sing. And when my soul whispered to me years ago, it was like 7 years ago, it was like, you're gonna do voice work. And I was like, absolutely no way am I doing that. That's
You're like,
fucking
absolutely
crazy.
not.
No, no. And it took me 6 years to fully own it. So it really is a practice in being patient with yourself as you are kind of peeling back these layers of masks and illusions and shoulds and supposed tos of how you should be showing up in the world. And I especially want to offer um, to just let yourself be in the practice without feeling like you need to turn it into content or film it. You guys, if you own a business, if you're a content creator of sorts, I don't care. You keep this practice for you first. You got to get to know yourself raw. And it's really hard to meet yourself in that place when you've got a camera staring at you.
Yeah, because then it just immediately turns into some level of performance.
For sure. Hmm.
Unless you're like, you don't give a shit and you're real liberated already, but that's not the people that you're speaking to. So,
Totally. And also, like, why do you need to prove your vulnerability?
right.
Is it actually vulnerability, or are you being? Is this like performative vulnerability? Like, I need to show that I'm being vulnerable. Like, well, do you? Why don't you just be it?
Now who's asking the hard questions, Lexi?
Just be it, feel it, experience it.
What do you think changes in your life or, in the women that are listening who are like, maybe I'll start this? Okay, everything changes when you start doing these things.
Yeah. I mean, the kind of voice work that I do with people is both because it all blends. So there is the actual speaking of truth out in the world and in our daily lives, but then there's also the expression of the voice through catharsis, sound, song. And I think those two hand in hand are really potent and powerful. But before, I mean, and all things can happen at the same time. I mean, you don't have to do one thing first before you go do another thing. You can practice them all at the same time. But for for anyone here who's really trying to um, liberate their voice, who's in a practice of learning how to um, speak their needs more directly, ask for what they want, to be more bold, more direct. And when I say that, I mean you're less fluffy and apologetic and about asking, is this okay? Oh my God, is this totally fine if that like I can do the thing? And then like, is it okay with you? But if not, it's okay. And then like, it's totally fine.
No worries if not.
No worries if not, question mark or exclamation point, happy face, heart. And that's fine if that's where you are. But if you don't want to spend that much time trying to be responsible for other people's feelings and emotions because you want them to perceive you in a specific light, because you're hell-bent on holding this identity of good person. Oh shit, where was I going with that? I can't remember. Anyways, um,
I'm laughing because I've definitely sent a text like that. Like, oh, no worries if you can't, no pressure. It's okay. Like, bitch, come on.
yeah, and sometimes you do it with your friends, and it's like whatever, who cares? They know you. You can be honest with them. But um, if you're like that, if there's always like this layer of fluff because you'd rather prioritize fitting in or not ruffling feathers than actually being yourself or being this expressing the truth of who you are, then also lost my train of thought there. But I think maybe people will understand what I'm saying. But if you are wanting to do all of those things more clearly, more boldly, more directly, speak the truth, all the things, be more of yourself, the container of holding yourself in the physical sensations of your body and allowing them to move through you through sound is a really powerful way to kind of open up that channel.
Yeah, 100%. And I think maybe the way that this could show up also is like if you aren't getting the things that you say that you want, like, are you actually speaking directly? Do you have boundaries? Are you communicating your needs? Are you asking for support? Like, more than likely, if you don't have the things that you think that you want, there's something to explore in this. It's like, are you actually using your voice, your own discernment, your own, yeah, everything to trust, first of all, to trust what you want, and also to put that out into the world so that you can get it, because nobody's going to read your mind. And if you don't use your voice, both with yourself and with everyone else, it just ain't gonna happen, sister.
Right. And the truth is most women don't know what they want. Most women don't know what they need.
Or they do, but they're too afraid to acknowledge it, or they don't listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, and then the responsibility a lot of the times ends up on other people to fulfill that need because we are not taking responsibility for fulfilling that need. It's not everyone else's job to fill your needs for you first. You have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken about this on other episodes, but if you want to call in a partner who supports you emotionally, does all these things for you, well, how are you doing that for yourself first? If you want to, call in anything in your life, you want to feel a certain way, okay, take responsibility. How can you help yourself feel that way first? And then everything else, again, can be just like extra bonus. Yay. Love that for me.
Right. First thing in the morning, greet your body.
Not your phone.
Not blech. Blech.
Tell me how you really feel.
Our brains are always in training to something, right? It's going to take on the vibrations of the things that you are focused on and paying attention to. So if the first thing in the morning is you're looking at your phone, your brain waves are in training to the frequency of your cell phone. And most of the time that is a very chaotic, ungrounded, destabilizing kind of energy. And so I want to offer for people first thing in the morning, greet your body. Touch your arms. Touch your head, scratch your head. Bring your hand to your heart. Rub your belly. Good morning, body. How did you sleep last night? How are you doing? What do you need from me right now? What can I give you right now that will allow for the start of this day to be as peaceful and gracious and nourishing and loving as possible?
Yeah, greet your body in the morning like you would a lover.
Exactly.
Imagine that. How would your
So
day start?
crazy.
Actually, I did that this morning. It was so nice.
Yes. It's very simple.
These practices usually are, but that's why we still don't do them.
It's because we think it's supposed to be harder than it actually is. And the truth is, there are places where it's really fucking hard, but the places that are simple, let it be simple. You feel me?
I feel you. I mean, shit, pair that with the morning routine we talked about with Brittini through big pussy energy on episode 19, I think. You'd be starting your day off real good. Greet your
Yes.
body, say hello to her, touch her, notice what she needs, and then do some sensual movement. That's how I started my day today, and it was fucking fantastic.
I would even offer like, well, you're more connected to your body. So sensual movement for you makes a lot of sense and feels really grounding and beautiful. For someone who doesn't yet have any sort of connection with their body, the word sensual might feel
Terrifying.
yeah, or like, well, I don't know how to dance sensually. It's like you do not have to dance sensually. You could literally just bounce up and down.
Yeah, just move your body the way that she wants to move.
Move it. Your body will let you know where it wants to take you. And sometimes she wants like really weird things. She wants you to like bring your palms to your cheeks and go.
I did that this morning too.
There's so much liberation in allowing yourself to just like be as ugly as humanly possible. Like, what if that was the goal? What if your goal wasn't to like be sensual or pretty or put things together? Like, what if your goal in moving your body right now was to feel as weird and unhinged as possible? You're like, how ugly can I get right now? Like, just whatever.
You guys can't see this if you're not watching the video, but there's some very strange facial expressions happening. Okay, but then what about well, but what if people judge me? Like, that little inner voice. It's like, oh, I don't want to look weird because then, I look weird and people can judge me. Like, obviously, I know the logical answer to that, but
I mean, that can come too. You don't have to you don't have to rid yourself. You don't have to cleanse yourself entirely of those voices and the fear in order to still do the thing. That's why it's called courage, bravery. You know, take it with you. Make it a joke. Oh my God, brain, are you like, is this weird? Oh, of course you think that. Of course. Like, mock it.
But I'm a brave ass bitch and I do it anyways. Like, I can
Yeah.
talk back.
You can talk back, you can make fun of it. It's just, can you allow yourself to get to that edge of comfort or discomfort, visibility? Everyone thinks visibility is only about like other people seeing you. No, this is about you seeing you. This is about you being visible and honest and real with you.
Yeah, because like if you can't make weird faces and like do weird movements and look unhinged and crazy on your own, like if you don't even feel comfortable or safe enough to be weird on your own, imagine how you're showing up in the world. Like imagine how many layers and masks and facades that you're wearing to like present yourself to the world.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, that's fucking tiring. No wonder you're tired, sis.
It's so exhausting to always need to be playing a role every single place that you go. And so let your space, if you don't have a space where you like go to those places, get a space now. I don't care if it's bathroom, office, bedroom, whatever. Have a space where you go that you know you can be safe to explore.
You let your like weird little gremlin out and you know
Yeah.
that you're okay.
Yes. hmm Let yourself explore. Let yourself be a witness to what's been ready to come through you for a long time.
I think something that's so like so magnetic is people just being authentic, being themselves. And part of being authentic and being yourself means letting yourself be weird in spaces that feel okay to do so, but then also like slowly pushing the boundaries of where and when you do that. And I think something that can be really nourishing too is like finding a friendship or a sisterhood where you can express that weirdness together because you're like, wow,
hmm
I'm not even that weird because look at how weird she is. We just get to be weird together. Like there's nothing more like cathartic than that.
Yes, 100%. And I mean, that also, friendships are such a beautiful mirror. And I think sometimes friendships can also be a really challenging place to allow yourself to be seen. Because once you find a friendship, sometimes you don't want to allow yourself to go all the way because you're afraid of losing that friendship. I know so many people who are, or have talked to me about it, like in friendships where there are truths that are unspoken, things
Mm.
that are unsaid, and it causes these little micro resentments. And then that's ultimately what kind of pulls these friendships apart. So, this is why it's so important to understand what it is that you need and want so that you have expectations for friendships, so that you have boundaries in friendships, so that you can bring in friendships that understand that, hey, this is a container for like raw and real truth. This is a space to be honest with each other. This is a space to have so much fun and joy and silliness and not just trauma dumping because that's not friendship.
Your friend's not your therapist.
Stop right now. um, and you can still have really grounded adult conversations with one another when or if a boundary has been crossed or if things like that. You can actually have conversations with those people. um, that comes with like really deeply understanding what it is that you need and want out of friendships. Otherwise you keep getting into relational patterns where you end up shrinking and holding things back because you're so terrified of losing the thing or losing the person.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it does suck to go through a friendship breakup, to lose a friend, but also it sucks to feel like you can only be part of yourself around a certain person in your life. So maybe, yeah, you have certain friends in certain boxes where you know that this is what you can expect from them, but having, somebody where you can go to those depths and you can be unafraid of losing each other, but also like you're saying, like have the real hard conversations and then yeah, it's a very potent container when you can find somebody you can be
Yeah,
yourself around.
100%. And that's really kind of when it comes to people pleasing, because I know you talk about that a lot, what this really comes down to is like a fear of losing something. And so a lot of us prioritize staying quiet because we'd rather not lose the thing or the person than be who we really are. Did I say that already today on this podcast? Probably, but maybe you need to hear it again.
No, you didn't. Say it louder for the people in the back.
And it's like when it comes to really um, allowing yourself to be who you are or to speak the truth or to live in truth of who you are is to be willing to lose things sometimes. You have to be willing to, um, it's like a willingness to, this sounds harsh, but like a willingness to deal with the consequences that come from speaking the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard either way. It's hard to like get over that fear and speak your truth and risk the consequences of losing people or being judged or whatever your mind is so afraid of. But it's also hard to continue showing up only as a watered down shell of yourself and never speaking your mind and like constantly taking all of the mental and physical energy to stuff down who you really are. Like, those are both fucking hard, but you know, choose your hard, like just in everything in life, right?
Yeah, and plus that's toxic as fuck. You know what I mean? Being a people pleaser is it's it's toxic. Ew,
It's not
stop.
serving anyone. As much as you think you're protecting yourself and other people, you're literally doing the world a disservice.
100%.
I think there's a lot of like, God, ancestral, cultural, generational things that keep women from feeling safe to express their voice. I mean, shit, there have been many years and times in the world where it hasn't been safe to express yourself as a woman. You couldn't trust the other women around you because you could be fucking burned
Absolutely.
at the stake. Like, there's so many like very real, valid reasons why we can get into this place where we're suppressing our voice or
hmm
not speaking up for ourselves. But like I think we are in a day and age where like still, yeah, there's still very valid fears out there of expressing. But I
hmm
think the tides are turning in terms of, our generation, especially being the ones who like maybe we still grew up with mothers who didn't speak up for themselves. They didn't ask for what they need. They didn't say, right? They were people pleasing. They weren't asking for support. But I think our generation of women is like seeing the consequences of that. And we're probably the first generation that actually has the ability to do something about it. But that doesn't mean it doesn't feel scary as fuck, right? Like, we didn't have an example. We didn't have models growing
Yeah.
up. But I think that ultimately like brings even more importance to the work that you do and the work of just like liberating your voice because it's so much bigger than just you and yourself. Not that you need to think about that all the time and put that pressure on yourself, but it's fucking important. The moral of the story.
Yeah, and people need to know, and this is why I love the sound work of just getting um, allowing yourself to express emotion through the language of sound versus trying to make it into a sentence that makes sense or to put actual physical human words on the thing. that you're experiencing, because it doesn't do it. We all know what it feels like when an emotion is so big that like your body physically cannot contain it, and trying to make it make sense with words just is not a thing.
It's like taking a picture of a sunset and being like, look at how pretty
Oh
this
my God,
was.
100, or the like a full moon, you're like, fuck, look, it's
Me
so
last
pretty, but when
night.
I take a picture, it's like garbage.
It just like can't even possibly capture it. I mean, we only have language and words for like what 10% of the human experience. Like it's never going to feel like enough. But I think that is something that's so powerful about dance, like movement and sound
Mhm.
is like that was how we communicated before we had words to express what we were feeling. It feels so good. It feels so primal. It feels so like deeply ingrained in us.
Mhm.
I think we just all, got too big for our britches, thinking that humans were so smart we could use words and language, but like maybe we should say less and just like fucking move and like make sounds instead.
Yes, and but this also goes to my point about when you are in a place where you are finally taking the physical action of speaking the truth or expressing your needs, you have to understand that it is going to be fucking messy until it starts to make more sense and you start to be able to communicate those things from a more grounded and energetically clean place. But you can't expect it to I mean, do your best, of course. You can't expect it to come through exactly perfect and clean on the first few tries. Speaking the truth, asking, communicating these things, it is going to be probably a shit show for a little while. That is okay. Let it be that. Let it be. And you can even express that to the person or whatever is going on. I'm in the practice of learning how to communicate things, so this might be a bit messy. Please bear with me.
Yeah, I think people would appreciate that because it also gives them permission to do the same.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think using sound, using your voice, whatever that might look like, is such a huge way that we take up space. And I think a lot of us, especially those who are, again, let's not even identify with people pleaser anymore, but like if you've had those habits in the past, uh, there's a lot of fear about taking up space. And being heard is just another way that we take up space because people don't even have to see you, they can hear you. And this is something I was talking to a client about the other day. Like she loves singing, but she never does it. She never makes any sound when she's self-pleasuring. She doesn't make sound when she's eating and enjoying something. And I was like, okay, let's just start with those little things. Like when you eat a really good
Mm-hmm.
meal, can you just like, mm? When you feel frustration, can you grunt?
Mm-hmm.
When you're self-pleasuring and you feel something really good, can you let yourself express that? Like
Right.
in the safety of your own bedroom and confines, like you can start in small places like that. Maybe not even small, maybe those feel huge, but you get to take up space. Your voice gets to take up space. Your
Yes.
body gets to take up space.
And the more that you practice this, even in really small ways, like Jenny just gave, it it sends out this energetic message that says, my voice matters.
I'm here.
I deserve to be heard, not just by other people, but by myself. Like me in my unfiltered expression is perfect as is. It's welcome.
It's enough. It's worthy.
Yes. Like it's welcome here, all of it. And it's about creating a container for yourself that can hold all of you. Because what's happening right now is you're only holding a very small fraction of the power that you hold. Girl, stop.
You are so much bigger than that. Like, what you doing, girl?
Stop.
So I don't necessarily know if you want to get into this, so please tell me if not. But something that I talk a lot about with my clients, of course, is sensuality, sexuality, all the sacral things, creativity, and oh yes, frothing at the loins. And I know I remember taking a master class with you, and I'd had this awareness a little bit already just from anatomy in school, but something that like has always stuck with me is the similarities between the throat, the vocal cords, and the cervix, the reproductive system in women. And I think there's such a huge connection between liberating your voice and liberating all of the things locked up in your sacral chakra. So can we get into that?
Yes, I mean, they're so directly linked, not just
Literally.
energetically. Yeah, like physiologically, physically.
Through your vagus nerve.
Right. And I know there's a lot of stuff out there around, humming and singing and sounding and activating the vagus nerve, which is super duper powerful to like regulate your nervous system. But like the kind of work I do is like for the purpose of setting yourself free. And this does help create a more flexible nervous system because we do have a really beautiful, flexible nervous system that can go from, sympathetic to parasympathetic to intense and then relax and intense again and then relax again. It's like it's built for that. It's pretty damn durable. I forgot what my point was with this, but I think there's a lot of tips and tricks out there on like how to regulate yourself and find peace and da da da. And it's like, no, we're here to get so into the nitty gritty of our bodies so that we can hold the full spectrum of your power, as I just said.
It's not always true for you to be calm. Sometimes you need to be fucking
Fuck!
chaotic. Like, regulating your nervous system. Like I talk about this a lot on other episodes. It's
Do
like,
you really? Oh my God,
yeah,
please.
the
Did
point.
I tangent? Sorry.
No, not at all. It all counts, girl. Regulating your nervous system does not mean that you're calm and happy and peaceful all of the fucking time because that's not real.
And
Regulating your nervous system, quote, means you're fucking flexible and you can feel all of the things and you can bring yourself back to baseline. And sometimes it means you need to be a fucking chaos goblin for a little while. Like you don't always need to be calm, centered,
right.
and all the things. So yes, do the practices to quote regulate your nervous system, do the humming, the singing. But I think what Lexi's inviting you into is like, don't do that just so you can like be calm. Do it so you can like express and so you can be present with what's in your body, like and be truthful with what's in your body, not to like get yourself back to almost like this performative place, like, oh, I just bring myself back to calm. Well, what
Right.
if you don't need to be fucking calm?
It's such a patriarchal way of looking at things because that in and of itself is like the only thing that is considered right is to be in this state of and calm and collected and
Yeah, because God forbid a girl feel
having
her
very
feelings.
right. It's like it, we've kind of been taught, or we have been taught to that like sensation in the body is bad and it's wrong, and we have to use all of these practices to remove ourselves from that and regulate ourselves versus learn how to fully be with it and let it move and come back home to ourselves. And so if you are not careful, it can be really easy. I don't care how fucking spiritual you are. I don't care how many spiritual practices you do. It is very easy, if you are not aware, to use your practices as a way to avoid being with yourself.
It's called spiritual bypassing. Don't do it.
It's very similar to what we were talking about in the beginning, where I said something like, it's like you're doing all of the practices, you're doing all the right things. It's a very top layer. It's very similar to that conversation where you can actually use your quote unquote healing practices as a way to avoid what's actually there. Like, well, I did my 3 point breathing for 30 minutes. Why does my this still feel like this? And why does my that still feel like that? It's like, because that's not what you needed.
Right. Like if you're feeling fucking angry, you probably shouldn't go sit in a meditation and try to get yourself calm. Like you should probably feel the sensations of anger.
Yes. If anger were to move through your body, what would that look like? If anger were to, if your anger had a voice and was using your physical voice to express, what would that sound like?
And like we're realists, we understand that that's not always accessible to you. So like maybe you need to put a pin in it and come back to it later. But don't
Sure.
just like jump into a meditation to make yourself feel calm and like squash all those feelings instead of actually feeling them. Like make sure you come back to that and fucking feel it, or else it's gonna get stuck somewhere, stored somewhere, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, no, it does get stored. Your body clings to dear life or for dear life to these events and things that happen. And the only way to get into those little crevices and cracks and to really move it and shake it up is to like physically move it and shake it up.
The only way out is through, homies. And I thought of this the other day, so I don't know if this is going to like blow anybody's mind like it did me, but when we think about something, this is going to sound like a tangent, but I promise it's not. When we think
I
about
love tangents.
we think about somebody who has kidney stone, what do we do to break that shit up? We do something called a lithotripsy, which basically uses frequency to blast that fucker open so that you can pass it. What do we need to do with the emotions and things that are trapped in our body? We need to blast that sucker open so it can move through. And frequency and movement is a really powerful way to do that. Because then you also don't need to put fucking words to it. I am so sick of people coming to me like, I tried therapy, it didn't work. Well, no fucking shit. You can only talk yourself through your problems to a certain extent. Excuse me, I'm getting fired up. But
No, it's so true though. And
therapy
also,
is great, but like only to a certain point for most people because we need to feel through it. You can't just sit there and
Mhm.
talk about the same thing and keep yourself in the same loop over and over and over again.
Oh no. Anyone who's worked with me knows I don't do that either. I've had people message me like, um, looking back on times where I've coached them and they're like, okay, something's happening and I want to like break it apart and I want to be able to understand it. And I've literally said to them, like, no, we're not going to do that because I don't give a shit about breaking apart and understanding this very specific trauma from every single angle and making make sense of all of it. And that it's like,
Logicking
that's,
through it.
yeah, that's not, we don't need to intellectualize it anymore. It isn't helpful at a certain point. At some point, you have to get into the body, and sometimes that's really challenging for people because the instinct is to want to immediately jump back up into the brain. Like, oh,
Let me
why is this
fix this.
happening? What's this sensation in my body? Why is this happening? Why is it here? Oh, it's probably happening because of this thing that happened. Oh, there was this trauma that happened when I was younger, and that's probably why this is happening. Or, oh, I don't understand. It's like, no, 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 no. No. We're not here to attach meaning. We're not here to make it make sense. We're not here to understand the depths of like why it's here and why you're experiencing it. You're just there to feel it and experience it and move it in the way that it needs and wants to.
And that is
I,
enough.
Mhm.
Okay, coming full circle,
I know, I just realized I'm like, wait.
coming back to our sacral chakra. So there's a direct link
Yes.
between the cervix and the vocal cords.
Mm-hmm.
So something that I've seen a lot in the women that I work with is like when they're experiencing difficulty speaking up for themselves, asking for their needs, asking for support, setting boundaries, that often reflects in their sex life. They're not getting what they want. They're not expressing their desires. They're not feeling turned on even.
Mm-hmm.
And something you even said at the very beginning of the episodes is like what shows up when we don't liberate our voice is like we just feel numb. We feel turned off. We're feeling unalive. Again, kind of a buzzword right now, but you get what we're saying.
It's a real thing though when you have it, if when it's embodied. Like when you've experienced life force, like true alive life force moving through your body, holy shit. Holy shit. It's unlike anything else. I'm sorry, you continue. I got excited.
No, please get excited. Can you just speak to maybe those who are a little less familiar with the connection between the vocal cords, the throat, and the sacral, the cervix, the all of that energy? Like, can you just give us a little rundown of how that all connects?
Well, I don't know if they need like all of the super specifics, but here's what I do know, and here's what I see a lot is if you have throat chakra stuff, you have a hard time communicating needs, boundaries, wants, all the things. That absolutely reflects in your sacral space, which is just below your belly button. And Jenny mentioned sex for sure. That's one of those things. But also, you might have a lot of gut issues. You might feel a lot of like a real lack of creativity, kind of like what we talked about in the beginning, and vice versa. If you if you are if you don't feel that sense of aliveness in your body, or you are not tapped into your creativity, that sense of flow, that sense of sensuality, that also mirrors in a underused throat chakra. Jenny and I talked about this before. I stay away from using words like blocked.
Black.
I think we throw around that word much too generously. Like this is blocked, and that is blocked, and this is stuck, and that is stuck. And it's like no thing is immovable, right? There's just like a more dense energy that's there. So instead of thinking of your sacral as blocked or having a block in something in your life, especially when it comes to the throat space, your throat isn't blocked. It's underused.
It's like you gotta like touch the mic. Like, is this thing on? Tuk, tuk, tuk. Gotta
Yeah,
clear out the cobwebs in the sacral.
right. It's like cleaning out, like imagine your throat space like a garage full of shit. Like is every one of our parents' garages like full of just like so much garbage and shit? Imagine that as a metaphor for your throat space, right? So it just needs a little bit of organization and cleaning. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to take out one box at a time, one box at a time. Oh, let me go through this. Oh, what's in there? What do I need? What do I not need? Taking it one at a time. You know what I mean? To kind of like open up that space to begin um, using it in a way that is actually in full alignment with the truth of who you are. And maybe some people would look at a like an old garage as like blocked, I guess. I'm like, is that a good metaphor? It's the first thing that came into my mind. But you have to, it's underused. There's just a bunch of stuff there. We got to clean it out. And the way that we clean it out is to use it. Use the voice. We can do a practice right now, even if you want. We were unsure if we were going to do that. I was like kind of thinking, do I want to do a practice? Kind of so people can feel and experience something tangible when it comes to vocal work and how accessible it actually is. And yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, you did.
Okay.
If you want to do a practice, fuck it, let's go for it.
Yeah, what time is it? You can cut this out too.
Time's not real. I don't know. Just keep going.
Time does not exist. Um,
If you're driving and listening to this, maybe, I don't know, can they do this while driving?
yeah.
Okay, great. Do it while
Don't close
driving.
your eyes though if I offer. You know what's so interesting is I hear from a lot of people too. Um, we almost feel the most open to our fullest expression like in a car by ourselves.
Oh yeah. I have definitely made the recommendation of like go scream in your car. Don't go like rage it out in your car. Go listen to some music in your car and just like let it fucking go.
Hmm.
I do. I think there's a sense of freedom involved there. It's a safe space.
Right. Yeah. And this is a really good way to kind of open up that channel in the voice and also down in the sacral space. Start
Bless
getting
you.
things moving. Here's what we need to know about sound. I mean, we didn't get into any of like the science of sound and things like that, but
Listen, I just watched an episode of the Magic School Bus that taught me all about the mechanics behind sound. So, like, that's all I need to know.
it's the craziest, most mind-blowingly awesome thing on the planet. And our voices, I need you to hear me on this. Every single one of you, your voice was uniquely designed to heal your body and to set you fucking free. And so, if we can shift the relationship or the way that we see our relationship with our voice from performance, entertainment, sounding good, into seeing our voice as something that can heal, repair, transform, it changes everything. Like you're here to use your voice, it is an instrument of transformation. And you don't have to sound good for it to be useful or to transform and repair things. You just have to feel it. You just and that's it's the same for movement. It doesn't have to look good. It does not fucking matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. What matters is how it feels. And that is the most important piece when it comes to this. And sound, quite literally. And I know we live in a time where everyone's like, literally, literally. No, I mean, like, actually, literally, moves matter. It moves, it literally, when you create sound, so for example, like a hum, can you hear that? Those vibrations are bouncing around in your body and they are getting into those little tiny crevices. They are shaking up all of that dense, calcified energy that's just like being stored inside of your body. And so you can start to really move and shake those things out and create space for things you actually want to bring in and call in. But you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to do it. And so let's do it.
So let's do it.
It'll be like a 2 or 3 minute thing. Like it's totally fine. So you can sit wherever you are. It doesn't matter. I won't even. You can close your eyes if you want to. But before we even dive in, I want you to give yourself permission for all those little micro adjustments to come through. Micro adjustments. I wish they could see me, but they can't see me. It's fine. Like shake your head, like crack your knuckles. Open and close your mouth. Like stick out your tongue. Like just the little micro movements there. You know, the thing too, most people who have closed, underused throats have TMJ and neck issues and shoulder issues. And so
And thyroid
using,
issues.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So this kind of work really helps with kind of releasing that energy that's in the body. Okay, you can close your eyes, you don't have to. And The thing too, especially when it comes to my kind of work, you don't even have to be perfectly still. You do not have to be sitting up straight. You can literally be slouching. In fact, I invite you to do that if that's what you want. Just let your mouth like fully hang open. You can slouch, you can hunch, whatever you need here. And just start to tune into your body for a moment. Take a couple of breaths. And then I'm going to ask you, what are you feeling present to right now? And it's the first thing that comes through. You're not questioning it. I don't care what it is. It's just the first thing that you notice. And just stay with that for a minute. See if you can breathe into that space, that part of your body that you're feeling present to right now, the sensation that's there. And then what we're going to do here is that sensation or that part of your body, whatever it is that you're present to here in this moment, if it had a voice and could express itself through you here, what would be the most honest representation of what you're experiencing in your body through sound be? And we'll all do this together. We'll just take 3 breaths. So we're going to release all the breath from your lungs. Tuning into what you're feeling. Take a deep breath in. And let that sound move. And I want you to really empty yourself completely on each breath. So there is nothing left, not an ounce of air left in your lungs. 2 more. Deep inhale. The most raw and honest expression. Empty, empty, empty. 1 more breath, deep inhale. Let it go. 1% more. 1% more. And just take a moment to see what you notice. And I know this is a really short practice, so maybe you actually feel the desire to keep going. If that's the case, please continue on your own. But if you feel complete, you can come back and start to gently blink your eyes open if they aren't already. Oh my God, I love that so much.
Same girl.
But that's how simple this practice can be. And that's something that I want you to take with you is in any given moment, you can ask like, what am I feeling present to right now? And your body will let you know. It'll be like belly or chest or, foot. Sometimes it's weird things too. You never know. Sometimes it's top of head. Okay, what's there? What's the sensation? What am I feeling? What am I experiencing? Let yourself really sit with that. and let the sound move through you in the way that it wants to. This is a really important piece of it. It's like, if this part of me, or this sensation, this emotion, what I'm experiencing right now, if it had a sound and could move through me, what is it? And can I give myself the permission to let that come through for as long as I need until I feel fully complete? And sometimes we know right away. Maybe you notice um, you're experiencing frustration. Can you give yourself the space to like pause whatever it is that you're doing, go to your container, your safe space, and be like, okay, where am I experiencing the frustration? And if frustration had a voice, how would that sound through me right now? Let your frustration sound through you. If my anger had a voice, how would it express through me? If my joy had a voice, how would it express through me? If my sadness had a voice, how would it express itself through me? Both sound and movement. Really let yourself explore yourself in this new way. And I promise, and I mean this, just allowing this like raw expression to move through you, no words, is going to get that ball rolling in the opening and liberating of your voice.
Yeah. If you can get
I've seen it.
comfortable with yourself in expressing through your voice in this way, if you can get comfortable in seeing yourself in this way, comfortable in taking up the space, comfortable in making noises and movements that aren't pretty, that are weird, and not judging yourself for it, or if you have the judgment, you let it pass and you just keep going. This, do not confuse a simple practice with something that's not super potent. Like, simple does not mean that it doesn't work. Simple is often the most potent. And I talk about this in other episodes too. The tools that you have with you all of the time, your breath, your sound, your movement, are often the most potent medicine that you can ever access.
Mm-hmm.
So take it fucking seriously. what,
Yeah.
what Lexi's saying. I'm just going to yell at you for a second. These practices, although they might, we might think that they're weird. We might not think that they're effective, but the more that you can get comfortable in, practicing this, creating this space for it, allowing things to move through you, it gets easier every single time. I will say, like, if there is any like
Mm-hmm.
weirdness or judgment or sticky energy, like, just keep showing up, keep doing it, keep finding that safe space for yourself to go there. And it really is a powerful practice. It shows up in so many areas of your life when you can start to liberate your voice in this way. Like, you liberate every freaking thing. And if we get one thing across in this podcast, it's that your ability to use your voice, ability to move your body, ability to use sound, like, directly correlates to every fucking thing in your life, the way that you show up in your life in every area. So
Yes.
start, taking some of these practices like the one that Lexi just led you through, or what she mentioned earlier about, like, greet your body in the morning. How does it want to be touched? How does it want to move? What sound does it need to make?
Mm-hmm.
There are so many ways that you can start. So if you feel scared or resistant, it probably means that you should do it.
Yeah, you finally get to be the leader of your practices. And I think that's the one thing that can be a little bit challenging is we're used to people telling us what the practice should be, what it's going to look like, guiding us all the way through. That's something that a lot of us are looking for. Like, we want someone to tell us what to do and to guide us through the whole thing, which isn't incorrect. But in these practices, you are guiding you. And you aren't always going to know where it's going to lead. And can you be okay with that? Are you willing to let your body and your voice lead you and trust that it's going to lead you? It's leading you on your path to liberation and freedom. And so you're not always going to know what it looks like as you go into it and be like, can I allow myself to surrender the need to know what's going to happen and just let myself fully be in it?
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, for the sake of not keeping people on this podcast for like 5 hours, which I know that we could do,
What time is
I
it?
will.
I don't even know.
I don't know. Again, time's not real. Whatever. We'll start to wrap up. Is there anything else that feels important for you to share, or feels like you need to get it off your chest before we wrap up? And if not, that's okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't even remember what we talked about.
It's okay. I blacked out the whole time. It's fine. Where can people find you? Like, what's your, yeah, I'll link everything in the show notes for people to find you, but kind of, where can people explore what it looks like to work with you? Where can they connect with you? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, please come find me on Instagrams.
Instagrams.
Instagrams. Uh,
Instagram for those of you who are questioning.
IG. Part of my vocal liberation has been like talking in accents all the time. So fun. Um, Find me on Instagram at Lexi, Lexibeal.
Okay, so you can find Lexi on Instagram.
Find me on Instagram. Jesus Christ. Anyways, was this podcast a mess? Good Lord. Okay, let's finish it.
Bring it home.
Jenny, this was so fun.
Oh, I love you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your magic. Seriously, go follow her on Instagram. She's a blast. She doesn't bite, so reach out to her. She's amazing. I have personally worked with Lexi in different capacities and have always, even if I wasn't enjoying it at the time because it felt challenging and sticky, I always enjoyed it afterwards.
My work is very experiential, and if you want to work with someone that is like, I'm very blunt, I'm very direct, but it always comes from a place of love and tenderness and compassion. And also, we do the work. Like we don't just talk about it. We are like, we get into the body, we get into the voice. It is very experiential. So if that's something that you're interested in, please come find me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I 10 out of 10 recommend. It's always been very transformative for me. And yeah, just you hold space very differently than many other mentors or guides or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. And I mean that in the best possible way. So go reach out to her. Yes, I know that you know that. Go reach out to Lexi if you resonated with this episode, with some of the practices we talked about. There's plenty of things you can take away and start doing like literally right now. And I will say, if you were a little scaredy cat and you didn't do that practice with us, inviting you to do it. Like rewind this podcast, go back, do it right now. It's not going to hurt you. It's gonna feel great. Like
or not, but you'll be okay.
Yeah, you'll feel better eventually, right?
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Thank you, Lexi, for being here. Thank you all for listening. If there is something that lands for you from this episode, you know I always love hearing from you on Instagram. And I will catch you in the next episode. I love you.